Hey, what's going on everybody? And welcome back to the Whiskey Cove. And on today's episode, we are reviewing an absolute staple, a cornerstone, a pillar of the whiskey and bourbon world. That is Eagle Rare 10. Run the video. All right then, folks, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another new and exciting episode of the Whiskey Cove. So as you can see, we have the Eagle Rare 10 year to review today. If you haven't already, go and check out the whiskeycove.square.site, and then you will be greeted with a lot of fun and interesting information about the Whiskey Cove, and just the website in general might give you a little bit more backstory about the Whiskey Cove and some stuff to get involved in. We also have a fantastic store there as well. You can get some premium whiskey glassware at rock bottom prices, etched with the Whiskey Cove. What better treat for oneself? That being said, let's get into this video, shall we? So yes, we have the Eagle Rare Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey 10 year. Let's check out the bottle.
I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush.
So as you can see from the video, it does have this awesome etched bold eagle on the front here. It is 45% ABV or 90 proof, and it says aged 10 years. Got a lot of information about how Eagle Rare came to be and a little bit about the whiskey on the back there. Pretty cool label, pretty cool bottle. The bottle is like the BTAC bottle, glass, pretty solid. Nothing really cool to write home about. The cork pop, it's a little shallow, not much noise coming out of that. It is a real cork. We appreciate that. And then Eagle Rare is essentially a single barrel, to my knowledge. They just don't go to the they don't clean out the machines as much as they should, so they can't really call it a single barrel because it would just consume and take too much time. So they just all like mosh it in together, I guess. So you have some backfill left from the other barrels, but from what I hear, it's like almost a single barrel. It does use Buffalo Trace's low rye mash bill, which is like thought to be 10% or less rye. It's kind of undisclosed, so we don't know at this point, but that's the best we can gauge from it. This is then a 10-year aged stated product, which is pretty good. How much did I pay for this bottle? I paid about $36. MSRP is right around there. However, you will constantly see this marked up from $40, $50, $60, $70 and more. But we should not hold that against this bottle. MSRP is about $35 for this whiskey. So I have already poured it into the Whiskey Cove's Kenzie glass here, as you can see. Just looking at the whiskey in the glass, it is on the lighter side, as you can imagine, for a 45% ABV whiskey. Kind of looks like a hay color, like that lighter straw looking color. Looks a little thin in the glass, but it does leave a little bit of up the side of the glass as I'm rolling it here. It doesn't look super oily, but there is a little bit of consistency there as well. So let's go in for a nose on Eagle Rare 10 year. It is really a really nice, sweet, and approachable nose. You know, again, because the ABV, there's not really any burn there as well. Very, very sweet in the sense that, like, imagine like honey drizzled on a graham cracker. I think would be a really good explanation of what it kind of nose is like. You get that typical beautiful waffle vanilla cone that you get with mostly all Buffalo Trace products, and then you also get that again typical woody, like fresh pencil kind of backbone, a nice balanced fresh pencil shaving backbone here as well on the nose. Not really getting any spice here, maybe a touch of citrus, like lemons and oranges. A little bit of toasted oak there as well. And a bit of brown sugar, just beautiful, just a beautiful nose, very approachable. It's just a whiskey you can pick up any day of the week and enjoy a pour of, and we're gonna get into this on the palate here, so let's have a taste. Mouthfeel, it does a really good job overall at coating the mouth in the beginning. That does wear off a little bit. You do get a really nice initial oiliness on the palate, but then that does really thin off when you get to like the middle and then at the back end there as well. First up, the flavor I'm getting, that kind of nice aged pencil, fresh toasted oak note here. It's something that the best way you can pick up that note is probably drink a glass of Eagle Rare, finish it off, and then just set the glass aside, and then come back to it like an hour or two later. All the alcohol is evaporated off, so you're kind of just left with the remnants of sweetness in the glass. So just nose that, then you just get like a really nice caramel, toasted oak note there as well. And that's kind of the note I'm getting here. Maybe a little bit of like a slight little bit of green apple there as well. And again, the brown sugar, the honey is definitely coming through a little bit more here on the palate than it was there. There is a slight Kentucky hug that I'm feeling, which is quite surprising given that it's 45% ABV. Sometimes I'll drink a 55% ABV whiskey and not get that Kentucky hug, but it is definitely reminding me that it's not water, that's for sure. Let's go in for another taste here. Getting a lot more of that apple this time around. The citrus is still there, but it's kind of more of like when you squeeze like an orange peel into a glass when you're making like an old fashioned or something. So those orange citrus oils, I'm definitely picking up some of that there as well. And again, it's just most of that kind of like brown sugarness there as well. The savory note that we were getting on the nose, which was like kind of like a graham cracker, honeyed graham cracker, is definitely there on the finish with a little bit of spice. But it's very subtle. I don't find this a very spicy whiskey at all, which because it's low rye, less than 10% that we think. So that makes complete sense. This is just a really good whiskey. Maybe as someone who's getting into drinking whiskey or bourbon neat for the first time, just to maybe give them this, because this is so approachable. Mass sweetness does a good job at masking up the ABV that does come with whiskey when you drink it neat. So I think this would be a really great starter whiskey for someone. You also get that age component there as well, so it has enough flavor in this flavors to be able to pick out that even someone on the beginning of their whiskey journey would appreciate that as well. Finish, the wood does continue with the finish a little bit. The sweetness has gone away at this point. Like I said, you get a little bit more of that spice, like tobacco spice, oak spice at the back end, with the dryness there over the finish. But all in all, you know, a very well balanced, pretty complete whiskey, and for the price, pretty solid indeed. So like I said, I paid $35, $36 for this, but I haven't seen Eagle Rare available at that price in a very long time. Expect to always have to pay 40 bucks now, I guess. If you can find the Eagle Rare single barrels as well, usually they're pretty good value for money, staying at around the same price, and can offer another unique tasting experience, although not too dissimilar to the regular offering of Eagle Rare. So we will do the rating and value for money. So value for money, A through F, A obviously being the best, F being the worst. Yes, this is an allocated product, but for $35, $36 or $40, it's phenomenal. You know, you have to give it an A, I feel like. A 10-year-old Buffalo Trace bourbon for like 35 to 40 bucks is pretty good value for money, and I always stand by that. In terms of the $30 to $40 price category, this is always going to come in like the top 3 or 5. Excellent value for money. That's why it gets an A. So then for score out of 100, obviously 100 being the best and then 0 being the worst. Although this isn't a super complex whiskey, although I'm not going to sit down here or sit down upstairs or drink this whiskey, I'm going to get different flavors as I'm kind of drinking through the glass, or I might grab another glass. Basically, the flavors you get at the first pass are probably the flavors that you're always going to get when you come back to this whiskey. So I'm going to give this a 70 out of 100, which is a pretty good score. Average is 50. This is definitely an above average whiskey. What it does have and what it does fantastic as well. And for the price, it's pretty unbeatable. The only thing I can think of off the top of my head is maybe something like a Russell's 10, which is somewhat comparable, but pretty different in a way. But just thinking about that age statement there, you're not really going to get better value for money for a 10-year bourbon. So hopefully you've enjoyed today's video. If you're lucky enough to pick up one of these, never pass on it for like $40. I think you should definitely pick it up there as well. Obviously there are Eagle Rare 17, 20 and 25 that's now available, that's become available this year. The others are obviously ones that is going to be very, very difficult to even try, let alone get a bottle of. But this definitely gives someone who's tried Eagle Rare 17, this definitely gives you a really good snapshot of what that would look like, but just a lot more age and wood on the Eagle Rare 17. So, as we drink through the world's whiskies one glass at a time, Eagle Rare 10, 70 out of 100. Cheers.